In this video, we're going to evaluate a slightly complicated variable expression. There are no new ideas here, but you may find it helpful to watch this example. Suppose we want to evaluate this complicated expression for x equals 5, y equals 3, and z equals 2. The way I'm going to go about this is I'm going to go through and copy my expression. Everywhere I see an x, I'm going to write a 5 instead. Everywhere I see a y, I'm going to write a 3 instead. Everywhere I see a z, I'm going to write a 2 instead. Oh, notice when I'm writing the letter z, I put a cross through it because my 2's don't have a loop on them. So the cross through the z is so we can tell the difference between a z and a 2. So, 5 is a 5. I don't need to do anything to that. X represents 5. So we can see what I've done. I'm going to put my x's in purple. So 5, copy the exponent 2. Now I see a y. I'm going to put my y's in blue. Y represents the number 3. Minus, here I have a fraction bar. X represents 5. Y represents 3. 2 stays 2. Plus 7 stays 7. X represents 5. Y represents 3. And here's a z. I'm going to put my z's in green. Minus, here's another z. Notice, the same variable represents the same number everywhere it occurs, but the different variables represent different numbers. So now instead of a big complicated algebraic expression, I have a big complicated arithmetic expression. I have choices for how to work this out, but I'm going to choose to just use my calculator now. So I'll enter 5 times 5 in parentheses, exponent 2 times 3 in parentheses, minus 5 in parentheses, over, oh, notice I have addition in my denominator here. So I'm going to make sure I put my 3 plus 2 in the denominator in parentheses, plus 7 times 5 times 3 times 2 minus 2 squared. Notice also that I just left the numbers that I substituted in parentheses. In this example, I could have also used times signs on the calculator, but I didn't really want to think about it. I see I left out the parentheses around the 3 in that denominator. I could go back and put them in, but those parentheses aren't doing any work, so it's also okay to leave them out. And I get 580. Just to make sure that I copied everything right, I'm going to go through and put that into the calculator again, make sure I get the same answer. And I see that I do in fact get 580 again. So that worked. It is also okay to work this out by hand following order of operations, but life is short.